Hello everyone, today we're going to do a granny square for the Brooklyn bag available in my Etsy shop, Let's Go Crochet. This is great for beginners. Grab your hook, let's go crochet. All right, here is the granny square that we are going to be making. And it needs 4 colors listed below, and I personally like to start by making all of the magic circles, all 12 of them at the same time, so then I just have to take one thing of yarn to wherever I'm going and then do the next row and then the next row and the next row until it's finished. All right, for row 1, let's get started with the antique white. You're going to start doing a magic ring, and then from there you're going to chain 3 and then do an additional 11 double crochets, making a total of 12 because your chain 3 is going to count as one of your double crochets. All right, so just you continue on to that, and I'm going to meet you at the end of row 1. All right, now that I've made it to the end, I'm going to go to the top of my chain 3, poke it through, and do a slip knot. And I like to pull mine a little bit tighter right about now, and then cut some yarn and pull it all the way through and make sure that you have a tight little knot at the top. Some people like to weave this in now. If you want to weave it in, weave it in. I like to just weave all mine in at the same time and make a day of it. All right, now we're going to start with round 2. So you're going to need the lighter color pink. And I like to start, you can pretty much start anywhere there is a gap between the double crochets, but I like to start around where I did my chain 3, and I'm just going to tie a knot and then chain 3 and do 1 double crochet. And I'm going to do that in between each of my double crochets. So chain 3, double crochet. All right, now you're going to go in between the next double crochet and do 2 double crochets. And you're going to repeat that all around your circle, and you should have 12. So if you want to double count, you don't want to make it all the way to round 5 and then realize that you have like 13. So that's just something that I've learned. It's good to count. All right, now that I made it towards the end, I'm going to finish off on my 12th double crochet set, and I'm going to do a slip knot on the top of chain 3. And I'm going to cut enough to where I have a tail that I can weave in later. All right, let's begin row 3. You're going to need the mauve color, and we're going to tie a knot above where we did our other chain 3 and chain 3 more. And we are going to do a double crochet and chain 1. And then in between the next set, you are going to do the same thing, and we're going to do a repeat all the way around. So double crochet, chain 1. You're just going to repeat that all the way around in between each of your double crochets. And then when you make it to the very end, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to do a slip knot on the very top of your chain 3. All right, so this is what you should be looking like. Now we're going to use our navy to do row 4. All right, we're going to start at the corner, and the corners are honestly, they're my very favorite part to do. So we're going to tie our knot where our other chains are, and we're going to do a chain 3. Instead of doing a double crochet, 2 double crochets, we're going to start doing 3. And on the corners, you're going to do 6 with a chain 2 in between them. So we're going to chain 3, double crochet, double crochet. So now we have 3. And then we're going to chain 2, So chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to add 3 more double crochets in that same area, in between that same area we've been working in, and this will be our first corner. All right, so there is my corner completed. And then we're going to do 2 sets of 3. So this will be our first set of solid, just 3. It'll be a side. All right, and then our next one, 1, 2, and 3. All right, and now we have a corner. So let's do our corner. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so now we have our first side completed, and you're just going to continue doing this all the way around. It should be 2 in between each of the corners. There should be 2 that are obviously not corners. I remember when I first started doing graining squares, I had 5 corners, so that's when I learned that you need to count. All right, so just keep going all the way down, and at the very end, you're just going to slip knot it onto the top of your chain 3, like we've been doing this whole time. All right, we are almost done. So now we're gonna do row 5, our final row. So grabbing the correct color, I believe it's linen, and I love this yarn. You are going to tie your knot around where your knots have been going the whole time, your chain 3s. And you're gonna chain 3. And on this row, you're gonna have 3 double crochets in every space, and the corners are gonna be just like the corners were before, except they're gonna be in that corner area where you chain 2. So there was your chain 3, double crochet, double crochet, so double crochet in the corner. That was our first. And I guess I missed. Oh, there we go. There's our second double crochet and our third. Now we're going to chain 2 and do 3 more double crochets, and then just continue that all the way around. All right, so I think that's really nice corners. I like the way those look. Two and 3.
snow machine. We're gonna test it by filling my entire house with snow. No. I forgot to mention, we also ordered the snow bro. Oh yeah, this is legit. What is this? That tube is going to be what's filling my entire house with snow. It's just snow, it's gonna melt. We should probably protect some things like this adorable family photo. One of these people are about ready to stand from this house. Alright boys, turn on the machine! So let's add the rest. Now we're gonna make the entire room snow. Watch this. Let's go climb a tree. Can I bring it with me? Sure. Just to show you how high I can jump without the moon tubes. All I need now is a basket, so if my equipment fails, I'm going down. I'm afraid to be standing here because I feel like I'm in the splash zone. So far, the gear's holding up. It's kind of scary. I don't know if I can trust it. Every time I fall,
All right, so I cut about a little over a foot of yarn in the row 1 color, and we're gonna begin weaving in our ends. So I pulled, this is just the magic loop tail, and I just like to weave that in and out, kind of in the back, so because the back is gonna be covered by a liner, so no one's gonna see it. I don't really care that much about what the back looks like, but I do try to hide all my ends. So you can just kind of disguise it in there. I like to go in and out or in between the stitches you can go through. And you can go back and forth. A lot of people, they go back and forth like 3 times when they're weaving in their ends. You find a way. All right, now taking that extra piece of yarn, you're gonna wanna get your tapestry needle again. And I like to pick up each loop from the magic ring and I go around it twice, just for a little extra reassurance. The first time I made one of these bags, I did not do this, and I didn't add a liner, and they just started busting open, and I ended up having to go through and add this. So I do recommend that you add this, and I think some people, when they do the magic loop, the magic ring, they do add another piece of yarn to do this with. I find it easier just to do it this way. So I just go ahead and pick up each loop, and I do that twice. So I think I've already done it once, and I'm now picking up my second for the second time. Almost there. All right, and then you're gonna pull tight, and then you're gonna knot it 2 to 3 times. And then I just cut a little bit close to it, and honestly, nobody knows I do this. It's not big and bulky. It is perfect. Don't even know. And it has been very secure. I haven't had any problems ever since doing this extra step. I have had 0 problems. And we're going to go ahead and just weave in the rest of the ends. All right, and this part is optional, but I do like to use a stretching block for my squares just to make sure that they are the exact same size and they're a perfect square. This is really easy and inexpensive. You can get a block for about 20 bucks off Amazon, and you wet it, and then you just put it on the block. Again, you don't have to do this. It is optional.